This is kind of like dropping down into, I don't know, boat heaven. We're not going to just look at this boat. We're going to give our viewers a choice of 2 Marlins. Hi there, this is Captain Q. Join us as we travel hither and yon to show you some great deals on some really interesting boats and maybe learn just a little bit with each one.
Captain!
Oh, there you are, pal.
Hey!
Listen, I have some great news today. We have our first #1 sponsor for Captain Q Yacht Hunter.
Oh, wow.
And you know who it is?
No.
Surfshark, baby. I have no idea what it's about. I'm gonna need some help here.
Okay. So, Surfshark is an internet tool that provides a layer of security and encryption around your activity and your data while you're online. And so you can use it on any device, phone, iPad, tablet, laptop, desktop, and it provides a layer of encryption around your data and activity. Let's say you and I swim off to Halifax. We get to the marina. What do you want to do? You want to get on the public Wi-Fi at the marina. So whether you're at the marina, the airport, the train station, coffee shop, it's going to provide like a nice little blanket of protection.
This sounds like a really neat thing.
Yeah. In addition to that,
Yep.
let's say you're settled in at the marina in Halifax, and you say, you know what, I want to get caught up on my Netflix.
Oh, awesome. Can't I just do that up in Canada?
You can't, because you're in Canada and your Netflix is based in the US. And so Surfshark has a tool that allows you to quickly say, I'm actually in the US and I would like to consume my US content.
What an awesome thing. How do I sign up? Where do I go?
Because Surfshark is a sponsor of the show, they've extended an offer to our viewers using this code AHOY.
Ahoy.
You'll get 83% off plus 3 months free. Also,
oh my God.
There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you try it and you decide you don't like it or want it, that's not a problem. There's a link that we'll put on the screen right here.
Okay, I see. Yep,
I see
that.
Yeah.
So
and also we'll put a link in the description below.
I think it's time we go do an episode of Captain Q Yacht Hunter. We're going to swim to Bristol, Rhode Island, and we have a special guest today. We're going to have a brief meeting with Halsey Herreshoff, and we're going to look at 2 Marlin sailboats. These are early designs of his grandfather, Nathaniel Herreshoff, and I'm so excited to get over there. We got to start swimming right away. Straight out this way, straight out. You ready?
Right, let's go.
Here we go, here we go. What a beautiful day. This is so beautiful we have to be in Bristol, Rhode Island, which is the home of the Herreshoff Marine Museum. It's really neat. This is kind of like dropping down into, I don't know, boat heaven. Let's go around the corner here. You're going to see here a Marlin 23 footer. This boat originally began as a design called the Fish. Well, the very earliest of Nathaniel Herreshoff's a little one design series of boats that he built. And the Fish was 20 feet long. And then they decided to change it and they made the Marlin, which is a 20-foot version, same thing, but with a little cuddy cabin on it. The original one did not have one. Unfortunately, the Marlin did not sell very well. They actually only built 3 Marlins, apparently. Then in the late 50s, they sold the design to Cape Cod Shipbuilding, who then took that same design. They put a little counter stern on the boat, fiddled around with a cuddy cabin, and really created a very nice boat, and they've sold quite a number of these. We have fun today because we're not going to just look at this boat. We're going to give our viewers a choice of 2 Marlins.
Ooh.
This one needs a little more tender love and care. She's ready to go in the water right now. I mean, that bottom is very fair, and you can almost see the shadow of the lead in the 4-foot of the keel there. And that one hole in the bottom there is just a great big sump drain. So any rainwater, anything you have in there when the boat's stored outside, just collects and drains out of there. She's lovely. She has a matte finish to her hull right now. Easily trailerable. At 3,500 pounds, this is not a heavy boat. Herreshoff's boats are actually surprisingly light. But this is a fiberglass hull. The original hulls were, of course, wood. I'm going to head up here. Would you like to get aboard?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Let's do that. You know, we just finished shooting a day sailor, another day sailor that was beautifully fitted out with all the best of everything, right? this sort of harkens back to the year that they were first visualized, back around 1917. Look at the length of this cockpit. Now this is definitely long. This is long and deep, and look at the height of the back of the coamings now. And notice how I'm sitting here. I'm right at the helm here. I've got room for 3 more people in front of me. I've got room for 5 more. This is like a bus in here. You could put and you can put a couple kids, along the after deck here. This is marvelous. Right now, honestly, I'm looking at this boat. I would tie this up to a dock. I'd get out the hose and some soap. I would scrub it down. She's got a lot of just dust from sitting in the shed. This varnish is reasonably fresh. A couple of worn spots. Her mast steps right behind me here. So there's your boom. You got a big boom, and then you're going to have a smaller jib up forward. Here's the trimming blocks for the jib, and also it's a little stopper cleats right here. Everything is set up here to make it very easy just to sail, and control all the lines. Halyards and reefing lines and so forth all might come right down into this area, and the mast steps through the deck and down to the mast step down in the floor of the cabin. We got a pretty new tiller. She's had some rub lines on here that need some varnish. This is the little tender love and care you're going to give to the boat. Here's the little stuffing box for it. You just crank that down, and there's packing gland in there that'll keep water from shooting up through the rudder tube. And this can also be moved up out of the way. Usually, let's see if it's stuck here a little bit. Yep, there we go. So when you're in port, you can tilt that up in the air and have another place to spread out the brunch maybe. Now this little locker here, open that up. This does not have an inboard engine, but this is an outboard locker. So you take those 2 wing nuts off and you lift this piece out, and there is where your motor goes. We have some barnacle life right here. That's a pretty good sign that this thing, when it's sitting down in here in the locker, and this is the case with many of these things, that will be semi-flooded, not completely flooded, but it'll have water sitting in there. It's much nicer than having a big bracket hanging off the side of the boat or the stern of the boat for your outboard. You get 2 little drink holders here, which is nice, 1 on each side. I'm sitting on one here. And this is just access to storage area, whatever you want, just a little storage place, nothing in particular. This has got a nice modern main sheet tackle right here. It's all kind of bungled up, but there you go. And there's a trimming line for it, for the main sheet, and it has a nice little traveler on it. And the traveler is adjustable with these lines. You see, we can move this traveler back and forth wherever we want to settle down with the main sheet. You'll see this little light line. This line goes under the deck and comes out right through that little sheave there. And that's going to act as a backstay tensioner. Notice we don't have any big winches on board, big expensive winches to handle anything. Let's take a quick look down the bilge here. See, she has a nice hourglass figure to her hull, so you've got a nice deep bilge. And if you look closely down here, I'm going to reach down and touch these bolts down here. And you see that, right? I'm pointing to it?
Yep.
That is the hole that drains this bilge when she's out of the water. So it just goes right down to that. That's a sump on the boat, really nice. And they may just carry a hand bilge pump on board to dry her out, get some of the spray out of her. This whole deck house has all been rebuilt, and she's got marine ply covered with glass, and the sides of it, as you can see, is continued mahogany. So we don't see too much mahogany. It's nice to see that. And I'm going to come in here, have a seat. You can see all this new woodwork where they rebuilt this whole cabin house. Okay, and this boat also comes with a place for, but it's not included, a head. You could put a little marine head in there and have a flush right between this, and it's got a sort of a nice little berthing area here. These V-berths give you plenty of room. You can have just a really nice place to overnight if you wanted to. And there's no galley. It's just very cozy in here. I could see really actually adding a Dodger to this boat. It'd be sort of fun to have a little Dodger on it. The mast steps right on the keel down here. And then you've got some storage under here, which is kind of nice and a surprise. There you go. Oh my God. Well, I guess even these little day sailors, they like to have something to eat. And would this be a great boat to hang out you-know-what on? What would we put on the bulkhead here?
Oh, on a bulkhead, probably a sea swing?
A sea swing, perfect, yeah. And you put your can of Dinny Moore in that, cook that up, you know.
Just like Nathaniel Herreshoff used to do.
Oh, he did. He ate a lot of Dinny Moore back then. I know you're dying for me to check out these berths. So let me try this one over here. Holy Toledo. Can you believe the amount of room in this?
You figured out a way to lie down on a day sailor.
Oh, yeah, boy, did I ever. I mean, look at this. I mean, we're in a V berth here, but if there's other feet out here, they're not going to run into my feet, right?
Right.
So this is pretty nice. Just for overnight, or maybe an afternoon relaxation.
It's got the Ted Hood latch cover for it.
The Ted Hood latch cover. Oh, yes. Yes, just like the forepeak on the Firefly, right?
Yep.
Yep, exactly. Let's take a little bit of a look up on the foredeck here. Should we go up on the foredeck?
Yeah.
Follow me. Now we have a nice hatch up here, really nice Bomar hatch. And if you look down there, if you were to look down there, you would have seen my feet. So I'm waving at you. We have a single cleat for a little anchor. You throw it over the side. This is a 3,000-pound boat. You just need a little tiny Danforth, little lunch hook, we call those. Some of these boats have a club-footed jib where there's a little boom that'll come across here on the very early ones, and they ran to a traveler right here. And then some of the later boats they're doing, I think, they're putting a hard corner on the tack of the jib, and that stabilizes it, and they'll bring that down to a traveler, and they won't use a boom, but they'll just free fly that jib on that, and it will self-tack. When you tack, boom, you go through the wind, jib flops right over. But I like this. This is very nice. It's a lot of boat. This is pretty swell. We've had the really happy opportunity to meet with one of the last of the Mohicans, so to speak, Halsey Herreshoff, who is with me today, and Randay as well. And we're here really to take a look at a couple of old Herreshoff designs that were conceived and done by his grandfather, Nathaniel. And the boats that we're looking at actually are updated versions that are produced by Cape Cod Shipbuilding. And they were, Cape Cod Shipbuilding took over the rights to build these, I think in 1958, something about that time. And they've been building them ever since. But it's really a lovely opportunity for us to do a number of things here. Number one, renew a tiny friendship that I had with Halsey 55 years ago, which he probably doesn't remember, but I do. And also an opportunity to come here to Bristol and to just live and dwell within the confines of this wonderful Herreshoff heritage here. So it's just a super treat for anybody that knows anything or cares anything about any boats to be here with you in this particular man cave. And as you told me earlier, I know there are about 3 or 4 other man caves in your life.
Well, one thing I'd like to explain, which may not be appreciated in general, my father was Sid Herreshoff.
Sidney.
And he was the oldest of 5 sons of Captain Nathaniel Green Herreshoff. Mm-hmm. My father designed a lot of the boats of the Herreshoff Company in the latter years, because he always worked there right from out of MIT straight into the Herreshoff Manufacturing Company and until the end of World War II. This boat we've been looking at today was one he designed, this Marlin. And he designed a lot of other boats which maybe didn't get the credit for.
Okay, so he did the design on the Marlin itself that we see today with the counter stern on her and so forth. And
well, that's right, because after the famous Herreshoff Manufacturing Company closed down following World War II, that effectively made my father retire. He was then only about 65, So he became a design consultant for the Cape Cod Shipbuilding Company.
Oh, is that right?
And he
Okay.
designed quite a number of their boats,
Oh, really?
including that one.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Cape Cod has got a great reputation, and I've sailed their Shields myself. They built a Shields boat, as I recall, and the Bullseye. That was a takeoff on the 12 and a half, wasn't it?
E.L. Goodwin, who owned the Cape Cod Shipbuilding Company, he bought the rights to S-boats, 12 and a half footers, and I think maybe the Fisher's Island 23 footers. My father designed a couple of more boats for them, which they still build.
And your father he was drawing and designing at the same time L. Francis was working, is that correct?
Well, that's right. L. Francis went in his own, lived in Marblehead and made some very wonderful designs. My father's work was almost entirely with the Herreshoff Manufacturing Company, including a lot of work during World War II with 100 military vessels.
They built 100 PT boats, is that right?
They were PT boats and minesweepers.
Wow.
And air-sea rescue boats. Mm-hmm. And they didn't design those boats, but he did a lot of the engineering and supervised the construction of them. And he used to deliver them, too. They had to go through the opening of the submarine nets at Newport, so he could go either to New York to deliver the boats or to Boston to deliver the boats.
Oh, that's fascinating. I think that we would love to come back, and we're going to definitely call you.
Well, I think it's great that we've reestablished our friendship, and you're absolutely invited to come back.
We'll be back with bells on.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
Well, you guys are great, and I enjoyed being with you.
Thank you. Would you like to go look at the other boat?
Yeah, let's go do that. You beat me here, but where are you?
I'm over here, pal.
Oh, there you are.
I'm over here.
You're tough keeping up with.
I know. This is really a treat here. We've seen one version of a Herreshoff Marlin. You're going to see another one. Come on, check this out. Look at this. This is the original configuration of a Cape Cod Marlin, okay? And you'll notice right off the bat, well, number one, the glare off of this hull is awesome. I mean, I can read my notes in that practically. But you'll notice standing back that the little bubble for the doghouse there, the cabin top, is different than the one we saw on the other boat. What they had done with the first Marlin is they had taken that little cabin top off and they put on a facsimile of a Herreshoff styled cabin that had been used on the Illyrians. I have to call this cream, I guess, a cream-colored hull. She really is wonderful. And the wonderful red boot top to it. And this bottom is, I can't believe this boat's been in the water. Now, one thing that stands out right away on this boat is that we didn't see on the other boat. That's a propeller.
The other one, yeah, had a little hole in the bottom.
You know what's interesting on this boat?
No.
This boat has an electric motor in it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I would not kid you, because I know you too well. No, this is an electric installation here. It just drives this little prop. This is designed to get you out from the dock and out to sailing. He's put a little guard on this. This is kind of an interesting little guard here, so when the lobster pot trails by, it's going to pop off. This is quite clever, the design of it. And look at this tiny little prop. It's kind of cute, isn't it? And the name of this boat, this particular boat, is the Pepper Pot. Ooh, maybe Bogey sailed in this, you think?
Oh, quite possibly.
This is really a very, very different boat. And she has mahogany tow rails here. Look at how he's treated this. I mean, it really is a lovely, lovely winch base. She's really sharp. I mean, gosh, just so sharp. And there's a kind of an odd little feature down here. This is a zinc ground. It's part of the electrical system, and the broker suggested maybe he'd overdone this, but that can be moved, and it's not a big issue. It's kind of a little lumpy right now. I think I'd find out what it's there and if it's really serving a purpose. If not,
that must
I'd
be
redesign
because
it.
the electrical motor is.
It may have something to do with some sort of grounding for the electrical motor. So you can see the little indent in the bow here, which is this Herreshoff thing, and originally started out with Nathaniel designing this into his boats, so that when the boat hits the water will spray out and not just spray up and back into the cockpit, just to keep you a little drier in the cockpit. I think if you'd like to go on board, I can arrange that. Would that be a good thing?
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's do it.
Check this out.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, we have just fallen into the lap of Marlin luxury. I've got 3 friends sitting over here. I've got main, jib, and spin.
Those are some of your favorites.
We're back in this basically large cockpit that we had on the other Marlin, right?
Yep.
But this one is has been all refinished and redone. Look at the shine on this. This is really amazing. I say that about a lot of varnish, I know, but sometimes this just looks like it's been poured plastic on it or something. It's so smooth and gorgeous. And he's also done this. He's put little safety little boxes, places to put bags and things in there, and they're just on little Velcro catches. Very nice. I know you like this little piece of trim piece. We've seen this on combings before.
Yep.
Just to protect the sheet as it comes off the winch.
It's just nice and dressy.
Very dressy, very shiny. We like shiny things, don't we? The other boat had a relatively new tiller, but this tiller is so new it wasn't even born yet. Look at that. That's just gorgeous with nice fittings on it. Everything here is just fresh and new as can be. Right here we have all the engine controls for the helmsman. We have your gear shift, forward and reverse, and then the throttle for a little more electricity or a little less electricity. Did I tell you we have an electric motor in here?
Yeah, you mentioned it. This is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And again, everything is just so. We have the same main sheet arrangement back here, just dressed up a little bit. There's a traveler behind here to adjust the mainsail. And look at this nice little custom rig to carry the spar. So when you want to drive down the road with this rig, the spar is going to live right in this cradle here, and there's one up on the foredeck there as well. And here we have the engine. This is known as electric power. This battery right here, this particular battery does not provide the power for the motor. This provides power for the bilge pump. It's dedicated for that. But here's the electric power unit. Here's your gear shift knobs, your throttles, and what a sweet installation. Is that tidy or what?
It's pretty great.
I knew you'd like that because you're the kind of guy that likes electric stuff. There's a whole series, there we go, of 6-volt batteries all linked up to provide the power for that for the electric motor. And if you even look forward through there, you can see the little window forward in that bulkhead that
Yep.
gives you light down in that little battery engine room cabin there. It's very much like the other boat, of course. It's just nice and neat and clean and well painted. And if you look to your left, you'll see an amazing electrical panel. Operate all the electronics on the boat, wind instruments and everything else that comes with the boat. So this is pretty sweet. There's storage under these seats. You can look under the seat beside you right here, and you'll find.
We got a serious sailor here.
This is actually a 3-dinty boat.
Oof.
We don't find those very often. And the price on this is going to be a little higher than the other one, obviously. But if you really want everything to be ticky-poo, as some people might say, and spit and polish, this would be the boat. There's a gorgeous table that's in this white bag down here, beautifully set up to be used as a cocktail table here in the cockpit. This is just totally sweet. It's just a wonderful day sailor. I mean, look at it, just shines up so beautifully. Just a simple little wipe with a cloth.
The tale of 2 Marlins.
The tale of 2 Marlins, right. We have been so lucky today, and also to actually speak with a real Herreshoff. Halsey Herreshoff was kind enough to donate some of his time to our interview. Today we got a chance to see 2 Marlins. One boat has been sailed hard and used by the family locally. She's in good shape. She'll sail, take you anywhere. Use Captain Q's formula, put it in the water and sail it and see what you need. Or if you want to be not quite rough and ready, and you want to be a little sharper at the yacht club, you can take the higher price one.
Ratings.
Rating time.
All right.
I'm going to start with the higher price boat. Rating 10. We give this puppy a 10 right off the bat. She's a floating sailboat. And then for the immaculate work done to it, I'm going to give it another 5. I would give it another 4 for the fit and finish, and I would call it 19. Now then, we have a second boat to consider today. This boat is on the market for $19,000. This may surprise you. I'm going to give it a 10 because it floats. I'm going to give it a 5 for the original design. And you know what? I'm going to give it a 4 because I bet on the starting line, these two boats would probably have quite a battle going to windward and reaching down and completing a race. So I'm going to match it right with that other one. Even though they're separate prices, it's an appropriate rating for this boat. Another 4, it's a 19 as well. So 2 Marlins for 19 points each. We'd like to know, which boat would you like to own, regardless of the price or your ability to buy it. And let's hear what you have to say, okay? Send us a note. We love your comments, and we love them coming in. You've all been such a great bunch of people out there. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when the next one comes out, please hit the alert bell. And that's not desperate at all. So we're having too good a time doing these things, so you can hit the bell or not. Randy, how would I ever find out what's coming up next?
You can follow us on Instagram here,
Yeah.
or Facebook here. We'll have little previews of what's coming up on our next episodes. A little bit early.
That's pretty cool. Previews. You all join me. I'm going to Instagram right now, and I'm going to find out what's coming up next week. Thank you very much.
You know, Instagram's not a place.